In 2012, Facebook acquired Instagram for $1 billion.
A company with only 13 employees bought today by Facebook for $1 billion.
Now, $1 billion for a mobile application way back in 2012 is a very interesting thing. But you know what is even more interesting? The story of Instagram. What makes the story of Instagram interesting is that Instagram was launched as an iPhone application on 6th October 2010. But you know what? Facebook already had an iPhone application way back in July 2008. Not only iPhone application, it also had an Android application in 2009. Now, just to give you an idea of how big Facebook was back then, in 2008, Facebook had 100 million monthly active users. In 2009, Facebook had 305 million monthly active users. And in 2010, the year when Instagram was released, Facebook had 550 million monthly active users. So on one hand, there is Facebook, which has 550 million monthly active users, and on the other hand, we have Instagram, who just released an iPhone application. And back in 2010, Facebook not only had 550 million active users, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg were the talk of town. So much that a movie was made on Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook called as The Social Network.
Soon a movie will bring that story to life.
I need to do something substantial in order to get the attention of the client.
Now, looking back in 2010, Instagram did not even have 1% of chance winning against Facebook because Facebook had millions of users and a lot of celebrities to it. But as it happens to be, today in 2024, Instagram is way cooler than Facebook. Now the question is, how did Instagram was able to beat Facebook and attract more younger crowd, and why did Facebook acquire Instagram for a whooping $1 billion, and what are the most important business lessons that we can learn from the interesting story of Instagram? Well, to understand the story of Instagram, we need to go back to the year 2007 because this was the year when Steve Jobs took the stage and unveiled the iPhone. Following the footsteps of Apple, Google introduced Android in 2008.
To tell you about something I'm really excited about. It's called Android, and it's a new open source operating system.
iPhone and Android were changing the mobile market forever, and Mark Zuckerberg understood this.
Mobile is, there are going to be more users, each user is going to spend more time, and per amount of time that they spend, we're going to be making more money than we are on desktop.
Understanding the importance of iPhone for Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg released Facebook for iPhone in July 2008. Further, he also released an Android version of Facebook in 2009. Now, when Facebook already had an iPhone application and Android application, Instagram was not even known as Instagram. Instagram was known as Bourbon. Yes, Bourbon. Now, what did Bourbon do? And why was Bourbon renamed as Instagram? Now, if you see, back then, Bourbon did 4 important things. Number 1, using Bourbon, a user could check in at a particular location. Example, if a person called Dan visited Wing Lee Bakery, he could check in saying he visited Wing Lee Bakery. Further, he can make plans for future check-ins and earn points as well as post pictures of the meetup. Now, looking at the data, the co-founders of Bourbon, Kevin and Mike, understood that the feature of posting pictures was used the most. So they decided to eliminate all other features. That is, they decided to eliminate check-in, plans for future check-ins, as well as earning points, and decided to keep only one feature, that is the feature of posting pictures. After deciding that posting pictures is the only feature that Bourbon is going to focus on, the co-founders of Bourbon also did not like the name Bourbon. So they decided to rename Bourbon into Instagram. Now, Instagram was a made-up name, like they took first 5 letters from the word instant and last 4 letters from the word telegram and joined it to make Instagram. Now, after rebranding Bourbon as Instagram and deciding that Instagram will only focus on the feature of posting pictures, once while walking on beach, Kevin asked his girlfriend, Nicole, for an idea to make Instagram stand out. This is when Nicole replied that, well, I don't know because I do not take many photos because my photos don't look as good as my friends. Hearing this, Kevin replied that your friend might be using filter apps, for which Nicole replied that yes, filters. Instagram should have filters. This is where Kevin got the ideas of filters. To give you a little context about Kevin had studied photography in Italy. And while studying photography, Kevin was introduced to Olga cameras. Now, Olga cameras were known for their light, leaky and blurred photos, which over time became a style. Now, inspired from Olga cameras, Kevin designed the first filter for Instagram and named it as X Pro 2. So now, Bourbon renamed as Instagram, and with filters, Instagram was about to enter the market. And you know what?
And Instagram users upload more than 5 million photos every day.
Nearly 1 out of 3 people in the United States using Instagram every single month.
Instagram was well on its way to go from 50 million users to 100 million users and keep growing. Nothing was going to stop it.
People liked Instagram. People liked the magical moment that Instagram's filter was able to create.
That allows you to take any picture, that's my daughter making her first snowball, and make it a memory.
Thanks to the filters, Instagram started growing. Just within 2 months of launch, by December 2010, Instagram had 1 million monthly active users. Then within just next 6 months, by June 2011, Instagram had 5 million monthly active users. Then by September 2011, it had 10 million monthly active users. Then by February 2012, it had 20 million monthly active users. Just within 15-16 months from the date of release, Instagram had an astronomical growth and added 20 million monthly active users. And the major push for this astronomical growth was filters. Now, if filter was the thing which was helping Instagram to grow, then was Instagram the first filter app? Well, not so. Instagram was not the first filter app. Instead, an app called as Ipstamatic, which was released in 2009, was the first wildly successful filter app. So much so that Ipstamatic won Apple's App of the Year.
Ipstamatic is an iPhone app that basically turns your camera or your phone into an old retro camera.
I just downloaded the coolest one. It's called Hipstamatic.
Not only Ipstamatic, there were also other filter apps like Camera Plus and Magic Shutter.
Look at how many different filters you've got for this. I mean, you've got grunge, vignette, fantasy, sepia, whatever.
Now, if there were many filter apps before Instagram, then the billion-dollar question to ask here is, why did Instagram win? Well, the answer turns out to be that most of these filter apps were charging money. For example, Ipstamatic cost $1.99.
Does this cost money or is it a free app?
It is $1.99.
$1.99?
Yeah, but it's so much fun. It's my new favorite. It might even give Words with Friends a run for its money as my favorite app.
Not only Ipstamatic, Camera Plus cost about $0.99 and Magic Shutter cost $2.99. And this is where Instagram enters and gives the filter app for completely free. So the first important point for Instagram's success was giving the app free, because of which Instagram attracted a lot more users compared to other filter apps. The second reason for the success of Instagram was that in other filter apps like Ipstamatic, Camera Plus and Magic Shutter, people used them only for the purpose of filters. That is, put filters and then posted their photos in Facebook. But in the case of Instagram, what happened was, Instagram had the feature of posting pictures in Instagram itself. So what people started doing was, after applying filters in Instagram, they started posting in Instagram itself. So with time, what happened was, Instagram evolved to be a social network just like Facebook. Whereas these other filter apps like Ipstamatic, Camera Plus and Magic Shutter remained only as filter apps. So the two main reasons for the growth of Instagram is, number one, giving the app for free, because of which Instagram attracted a lot more users compared to other filter apps. And number two was letting users to post the filtered photos in Instagram itself, because of which Instagram evolved to be a social network with millions of followers. Thanks to these two decisions, by February 2012, Instagram had 20 million monthly active users, and this was really disturbing for Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. So, Facebook acquired Instagram on 9th April 2012 for $1 billion.
Instagram was snapped up by Facebook for $1 billion.
You've closed the Instagram acquisition.
Yeah,
Can you talk about it now? Why did you do it, and what are you going to do with it?
Now, why did Facebook pay $1 billion to Instagram? Well, two main reasons. The first reason is that back in 2012, there were reports that Twitter offered about $525 million to Instagram. And if Instagram accepted this offer, then it would become a nightmare for Facebook, because then Facebook would have to compete with Twitter-owned Instagram. So the first reason to acquire Instagram was to protect Instagram from getting acquired by other potential investors like Twitter and Google. Now, the second reason for acquiring Instagram was that by 2012, it had become evident that smartphones were the future. To give you a little context, in 2010, 30.9 million units of iPhones were sold, and in 2011, 72.3 million units of iPhones were sold. Further, in 2012, 125 million units of iPhones were sold. From this graph, you can understand that there is an increased trend in sale of iPhones, which means that more and more people were using iPhones. And similarly, people were also buying Android. So Mark Zuckerberg understood that if he had to successfully run a social network company like Facebook, then he had to win the mobile market in a big way. But a small company called as Instagram was already winning the mobile market. By February 2012, Instagram had 20 million monthly active users. And these 20 million monthly active users also included celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Zendaya, Serena Williams, Drake, and so on and on and on. And you know what? These celebrities had joined Instagram by themselves. Instagram did not pay these celebrities to be on the platform. So this growth of Instagram was astronomical. So by 2012, Mark Zuckerberg understood that Instagram had become a very big player in the mobile market, and in order to avoid competition as well as protect Instagram from getting acquired by competitors like Twitter, Mark Zuckerberg decided to acquire Instagram for $1 billion. And looking back, it was a very good deal, because today Instagram is roughly worth around $100 billion. Which means that Facebook already has made 100 times the money that it invested on Instagram way back in 2012. And not only that, today Instagram has 2 billion monthly active users, and approximately 60% of its users are in the age group of 18 to 34. Whereas on the other hand, 50% of users of Facebook are in the age group of 25 to 44. So Instagram has young crowd and Facebook has older crowd. And to have young crowd is very important for the future of social networking site. Well, that is the story of Instagram. From struggling with bourbon, getting acquired by Facebook, and now worth hundreds of billions of dollars, Instagram has had a quite interesting story. But you know what is even more interesting than the story of Instagram? Well, the story of Facebook. Because Facebook did not stop at the acquisition of Instagram. In 2014, after 2 years from the acquisition of Instagram, it acquired WhatsApp for $19 billion.
Facebook, the world's largest social network, has agreed to buy WhatsApp for as much as $19 billion.
The most expensive deal Facebook has ever made, especially when you compare it to Instagram. It only paid $1 billion.
Facebook paid $17 billion more for WhatsApp as compared to Instagram. Now, the question is, why did Facebook pay such a big amount for WhatsApp? What is the story of WhatsApp? And most importantly, what can we learn from the story of WhatsApp? Well, the answer to all these questions in the next episode of the Meta Story. Every single day, about 1 million new users were joining WhatsApp. Facebook acquired WhatsApp for $19 billion.
You bought WhatsApp for $19 billion. Why did you do it, and what does it mean?
And there are reports that Google offered about $10 billion for WhatsApp. How did WhatsApp beat its competitors like Skype and BlackBerry Messenger? But WhatsApp was also available on Nokia and BlackBerry phones from 2010 itself. WhatsApp becomes a super app or not. Further, e-commerce company can send order details through WhatsApp using WhatsApp Business API. Why did one founder quit it to tell people to delete Facebook? What was wrong with Facebook? Now, are really Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg so bad?